Something in you already knows that the world is shifting. Not in the way the headlines describe it, deeper than that, and quieter than that. You felt it in the way money feels increasingly fragile, in the way the rules seem to keep changing, in the low hum of collective anxiety that most people are trying very hard to ignore. My name is Sarah. I'm the founder of Her Sovereign Waters. And in the next 10 minutes, I want to show you what is actually happening beneath the surface of our financial world, calmly, clearly, and without fear. Because the moment you understand the structure of what's coming, something shifts. The anxiety loosens, the fog lifts, and you stop waiting to be told what to do. This is the guide I wish someone had given me. Think about the last 2 decades. Music went digital. Communication went digital. Shopping, contracts, entertainment, even your identity. All of it moved onto screens, into the cloud, into instant. Every major system in your life upgraded. Everything moved faster, cheaper, more connected. Everything except money. Money is still running on infrastructure built in 1973. A messaging network where sending 500 euros abroad can take 3 days and cost 30 euros in fees. In a world where you can video call someone in Japan for free and instantly, we're still moving money like it's 1973. That gap is becoming impossible to ignore. And right now, whether most people can see it or not, it is closing. To understand where we are going, you have to understand where we came from. For most of modern history, money was tied to something real, to gold. Every banknote represented a physical amount of gold in a vault, which meant governments couldn't simply print unlimited money. There was an anchor. That anchor was removed in 1971 when the United States quietly ended the convertibility of the dollar to gold. What was announced as a temporary measure became permanent, and the world entered a completely new era, one where money is no longer backed by anything physical. It is created from debt. Every time a government issues a bond, every time a bank makes a loan, new money is born. And here's the fragile truth at the heart of the system. It must expand forever, or it collapses. The United States now carries more than $35 trillion in debt. Japan, the European Union, developing nations, the numbers are staggering, and they keep rising. This is not a conspiracy, this is mathematics. A system built on endless borrowing reaches a point, and history has shown this many times, where the infrastructure underneath it has to change. We are living inside that point right now. When a financial foundation shifts, the infrastructure that moves money has to shift with it. And this is what most people are missing entirely. While the public is shown price crashes and meme coins, the actual story is happening somewhere else entirely. The world's largest banks are quietly building blockchain-based payment systems. Over 100 countries are developing digital versions of their national currencies. The old banking messaging network is transitioning to a new global standard, designed to allow every financial system, old and new, to speak the same language. Global power is shifting too. New alliances are forming between countries that collectively represent more than 40% of the world's population. They are trading outside the old dollar-based system. Central banks are buying gold in record amounts. The architecture is being rebuilt, rail by rail, quietly in the background. Governments cannot announce a financial reset. If a central bank held a press conference tomorrow and said the current system is failing and a transition is underway, panic would spread in seconds. So the transition happens silently. When it is ready, people will simply experience faster payments. They will not realize the entire infrastructure underneath was replaced. Now, here's the part most financial education skips, and it is the part I care about most. Digital money is not neutral. When money becomes programmable, when it exists entirely on a digital ledger, it becomes possible to track every transaction in real time, to apply rules automatically, to decide at the system level where money can flow and where it cannot. This is not speculation. Over 100 countries are actively developing digital national currencies with these exact capabilities. And the institutions building the new financial infrastructure include governments and central banks who benefit enormously from systems that are easier to monitor and control. I name this not to frighten you. Fear is the last thing I want you to carry out of this conversation. I name it because sovereignty requires clear seeing. You cannot navigate a transition wisely if you only see half of it. The new system will bring genuine efficiency. It will also bring a new kind of power structure. And the people who understand both, the light and the shadow, are the ones who can move through this with agency rather than being moved by it. And this is where the conversation has to go somewhere deeper. Most financial content is designed, deliberately or not, to feel like a threat. When information activates your nervous system's survival response, you freeze, you react, you hand your power to whoever sounds most certain. Your body is your first line of sovereignty, not a tip, not a token, not a strategy, your inner state. A regulated nervous system is what allows you to sit with uncertainty without collapsing, to receive confronting information without your body hijacking your thinking, to make decisions from your center, not from your panic. This is why I teach the nervous system alongside the financial content. Because knowledge without inner stability is just anxiety wearing a smarter outfit. The people who will move through this transition with clarity, who will make aligned decisions rather than reactive ones, are not necessarily the most informed. They are the most regulated. Calm is not passivity. Calm is your greatest strategic asset. So what does a sovereign approach to this moment actually look like? 3 moves, in this order. First, understand the structure, not the headlines, not the price charts, the actual infrastructure being built. What it is, why it exists, where the logic is going. When you understand the architecture, the noise stops being frightening and starts being readable. Second, regulate your inner landscape. Develop the capacity to receive difficult information without destabilizing. This is not soft work. It is the most strategic work, because every decision you make from a panicked state will cost you more than any missed opportunity ever could. And third, position with intention. Once you see clearly and you are operating from a grounded, regulated place, you can make decisions that are actually aligned with your values, your risk capacity, and your vision for your life. Not someone else's strategy, yours. These 3 moves, in this order, are the foundation of everything I teach in Sovereign Money, preparing calmly for the new financial system. Here is what history shows us. Every single time a financial system transitions, wealth moves, not randomly, structurally. It moves from those who were caught unprepared to those who understood what was being built before it became obvious. When the gold standard ended in 1971, a new era of assets emerged. When the internet shifted commerce, when mobile shifted communication. In every case, the window to position was brief, it was quiet, and it closed without announcement. We are in this window right now. The new digital financial infrastructure is not yet fully live. It is being built, and the moment it goes live, the moment the average person simply experiences faster payments and realizes the entire system underneath was replaced, that window closes. I'm not promising outcomes. I cannot tell you what will happen or when. What I can tell you is that the architecture is real, the transition is verifiable, and the understanding available to you today will not be as freely available once the institutional floodgates open. I built Sovereign Money because I couldn't find anything that covered this moment in this way. Everything out there was either too technical, too fear-driven, too speculative, or it ignored the nervous system piece entirely, as though clarity is just a matter of more information. Sovereign Money is 6 audio modules. You can listen while you walk, while you cook, while you move through your day. We start with the history, why the current system is ending and why that is not a catastrophe. It is a transition. We move into the architecture of what is being built to replace it. We look honestly at the scenarios, how this could unfold, softly or suddenly. We cover how to begin practically and safely as a complete beginner. We explore why most people will not see this coming and why that window still exists for you. And we close with sovereignty itself, the inner work that makes all the outer preparation actually land. This is not a trading course. It is not a prediction. It is a clarity course for people who want to understand the moment we are in and meet it with intelligence, groundedness, and genuine sovereignty. If something landed for you today, if something in you recognized what I've been describing, please don't let this be another thing you're meant to look into. The people who move through this transition with sovereignty are not the ones who knew the most. They are the ones who acted on what they knew when the knowing still mattered. Sovereign Money is open now. 6 modules, yours to keep, at your own pace. You do not need to panic. You do not need to chase. You simply need to understand what is happening and decide from a clear and grounded place what you want to do about it. The link is below. Welcome to the calm side of the transition. I'll see you inside.